tonight from this Australian side that many feel were so disappointing against the Solomon Islands with that 6-2 victory 2 days ago. We need to repay the faith, if you like, in the supporters that have come. Zelic. Tahiti, no pushover by any stretch of the imagination after the first game when Australia struggled to win 5-0. Bingley wide, pulled it back, cleared away by the number 15 for Tahiti, Sylvain Bowen. Popovic, sure, delighted to be in action tonight for Australia after being frustrated with injury. You've seen players like Craig Moore, Kevin Muscat, Tony Vidmar all play in his position. Along with Alex Tobin, probably the two favourites for the two centre-back positions in Terry Venables' best 11, which we can assume will be in action against New Zealand on the 28th of June. Not far away now before the tempo is up considerably in the Oceania World Cup qualifiers. Zelic trying to up the tempo on the park. Hooker, little ball across in space is Mori. Well, he took the volley with the side of his foot, which technically was the right way to approach the shot. He struck it cleanly as well, but he just couldn't keep the ball down, Damien Mori. But a good move from Australia. Hooker it was, just picking out Damien Mori in space there. A lot of space, surprisingly, in that Tahitian defence. We saw when these two sides met last Friday just how compact the Tahitians are in the centre of the defence. They are difficult to break down, but tonight they are looking to do a little bit more going forward than they managed to the other week, and that could leave more openings for Australia. Craig Moore, great ball down the line. Aloisi on the counter, tried to pull it back, but there were two men on the far post and no one at the near post, which is where Aloisi aimed his cross. Popovic to Horvat. Rilio Vidmar, captain's armband again for him. Mori. Taking the ball all the way back to Zelic. Vidmar moved into the space on the left. Hooker goes down the left, getting behind his man. That's clearly a foul by Harold Amaru. Hooker, who's played so much of his career at sweeper, but at international level, has this role on the left-hand side of the midfield as Vidmar tries to get the crossover. This time it's more defensive work for Tahiti. Emana Palmer conceding the corner. Terry Venables looking for more from his charges tonight, without a doubt. He's very protective towards his players as the ball comes over. Zelic on the volley. Tahiti struggling. Zelic again on the volley from Vidmar. Well, Tahiti again struggling to deal with the Australian set piece. They couldn't clear that ball at all well. But the final attempt on goal from both Zelic and Vidmar lacked the penetration to trouble this man, Jimmy Tahutina. As I was saying, Terry Venables is very protective towards the performances of his players, but even he was disappointed with the result, and that's a great pull back there from Tahiti. No one coming in. The ball in behind, but it just won't get to the intended runner, which was Jean-Louis Rousseau. Chip Mansam, the Tahitian coach, back in action after 18 years of being in exile, if you like. He was coach of the national team all that long ago. Hooker inside, Vidmar. Hooker again, now Zelic. The ability to just open the game up. Ned Zelic, Bingley going down the line, the ball coming back inside. Zelic again. It was just over 75 years ago that Australia played its first ever international. It was against New Zealand in Dunedin back in 1922. And the stage is set for another battle between the two rivals, the two big sides, if you like, in the Oceania division of FIFA. Only for a brief moment did it look like New Zealand wouldn't be Australia's opponent in the third round of the Oceania qualifiers. They slipped up in their first game at Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea when they were beaten by a goal to nil, but they have since rallied and found their scoring touch. Papua New Guinea beaten 7-0 in the return leg. Fiji beaten 5-0 last night. Australia looking for their first here. Murray blocked. Corner to the Socceroos. Amy Murray and John Aloisi teamed up again for the second time in the series. 10 goals between them when they played the Solomon Islands in the first game, as Foster lofts one to the back post. Good ball back across from Moore. Zelic will pick up a loose ball. And then forward on that right-hand side, one of them is Popovic. All he could do was just block the header back into the space. And Foster couldn't get there. Hassan tackle quickly. Australia look busy. They look to be moving the ball as quickly as they can while retaining possession. And we see Vidmar into the penalty area. Still Vidmar. Aurelio Vidmar, shot blocked. But a good positive run from the Australian captain. And the shot there from Zelic. Great goal. Ned Zelic with the sweetest of strikes from the edge of the penalty area. And a popular goal as well from a player who doesn't threaten too often in front of goal. But Tahiti made a mess here with that ball across, and then Leisan was casual. Zelic quick into the tackle. And there was no chance there for the goalkeeper, Tahotini. Ned Zelic's second goal for his country. His first came in the last World Cup campaign against New Zealand at Olympic Park when Australia won 3-0. Well, a good start. A better start than last time against Tahiti for Australia. Okay, carrying on. Long ball through the centre, straight down to the Tahitian goalkeeper. Steve Horvath was a late withdrawal in the game on Tuesday against the Solomon Islands. He just pulled up a little bit sore after training and he was not risked. But he is competing with Adelaide City's Milan Ivanovic for the role of sweeper. Down on the touchline, we'll cross to Mike Cockrell.
Thank you very much, Paul. We'll have with me Tony Vidmar. Tony, Ned Zelic doesn't score too many, but that was one out of the box.
No, it's a good one to get early on. I think the way the players are playing now, they're moving the ball, they're not doing much running with the ball, and it's important that we've got that first goal, and hopefully we can get another one.
Thanks, Tony. Back to you, Paul.
Tahiti trying to do more in attack than they have done in any of their previous games. They were disappointingly beaten 4-1 by the Solomon Islands. As we take another look at this run here from Aurelio Vidmar, this is where the defence really made a mess of it. Amaru, a loose ball across. Leisan just too casual. Zelic onto it like a shot and finished with a shot of real accuracy. Aloisi. Zelic tends to approach these games somewhat, well, he looks casual, but really he's playing a very smart game, not overusing the ball or overextending himself, trying to work situations that aren't there. It's a different type of game when you're playing a side, playing a match rather, totally in the opposition's half. It's a loose ball from Moore. It'll take Australia long to win the ball back once they have lost it. Foster brings Zelic into the game again. Hooker won't get there. Now he does. Back to Vidmar. Popovic. Trying to adapt to life in Japan with Sanfrecce Hiroshima, along with Graham Arnold and Eddie Thompson. And also possibly in the near future, Robbie Hooker from West Adelaide could be joining the two Australians there. There's the transfer rumour. Aurelio Vidmar looking to get a transfer of his own away from Tenerife in Spain, where he's had such a disappointing time, struggling to get into the first team. He's ready for a fresh challenge at another club. There was even talk of him coming back to Adelaide City at one stage last season. Such was his discontent in Spain. But he stuck it out. He wants to remain in Europe for another couple of seasons if he can. Aloisi touching on. Chance here for Tahiti. Eta. Popovic keeping the ball in and winning the throw. There have been some criticisms of the Tahitian side since they've been in Australia. The media that are following the team have complained about the lack of professionalism from the players. They're training just once a day while they're here and spend the rest of the time on shopping excursions, according to a couple of the media people. They were so disappointed to lose to the Solomon Islands 4-1 last Sunday. Their first defeat ever to that nation. A real low, if you like, in Tahitian football history. Australia looking for goal number 2. Craig Moore galloping down the right. It's a good cross. Aloisi can't get there. That was superbly brought down. But Vidmar has won the ball. Now, chance for Australia. The cross was whipped in somewhat, but there are a number of players in that Tahitian defence and plenty of height as well. They're dealing with most of the Australian crosses so far. Foster. Vidmar off a defender and straight to the goalkeeper.
Got a man, look at him, Fozzie!
Foster got there first, but only helped it on to a Tahitian player. Bosnich will get a touch, and we should be able to count the amount of touches that Mark Bosnich has in this first half on one hand of a goalkeeper's glove. Bingley. Poor ball from him. Now Hooker takes over. But again, just some casual passes creeping into the Australian side. There's so many initiatives to speed the game up, and you see there, as soon as the ball went out, the ball boy just placed a replacement ball right on the spot instantly to try and speed the game up. FIFA's reasoning for that is the more time that the ball is in play again, the more goals that will be scored. Zelic, Murray, little back heel, hooker won't get there. This starting 11 from Terry Venables tonight largely looks like what we can expect to take the field against New Zealand, though Stan Lazaridis, Zelic takes a shot. Tahiti, this time right behind the shot from Ned Zelic. As he found a yard, he's a bit more confidence, I'd say. Look at the distance he took that shot from. It must have been 35 metres, but he still was prepared to try his luck. As I was just saying, Stan Lazaridis and Robbie Slater aren't in the starting lineup tonight, but most of the other places, you could say, will be filled by these players when Australia plays New Zealand. You can never be 100% sure what a coach will do, but certainly the feeling amongst many observers as hooker whips in a cross. Foster trying to win the ball and does so. Vidmar takes over. Zelic in behind for Bingley. Great run, good idea. But I think Bingley just checked his run for a moment there to stay on side, and that took away his momentum just a fraction, and he couldn't get to the ball. But Zelic is so willing to play balls in behind the defence. The wide players running. They're long ball, 30 to 40 yard balls. He backs his accuracy every time. And if you can remember back to 1993, when Australia played Argentina at the Sydney Football Stadium, it was just that sort of pass that put Tony Vidmar in, who then provided the cross for his brother Aurelio for the goal against Diego Maradona's side. It's a different campaign now, though. Murray is beaten to the ball, throw into Australia. Zelic. Foster. Waiting for something. Here's hooker. Vidmar. Well, just look at the time he's got to make a decision on what to do. Perhaps too much time. Popovic, Vidmar. Australia waiting for a quality opening, and it's not providing itself at this stage. Now maybe it can, with a run in behind the defence from Craig Foster. Still Foster. Sylvain Bowen with the defensive work. He'd never played for Tahiti before this series. He's 28 years old. He's unusually old to make your international debut, but the new regime in Tahiti sees a future for him. Ball cleared away. Hooker, straight back from him. Zelic. Great ball. Out to Aurelio Vidmar. Players waiting in the centre. The cross didn't come. 20 minutes gone here. Australia 1 goal to the good. Ned Zelic the goal scorer. And down on the sidelines, Mike Cockrell is with Joko Kalats.
Spider, Tony Popovic's first appearance in the World Cup. You know him better than anyone. He's obviously delighted to be out in the park tonight.
Yeah, I think it's good to see Tony's back. He's had that injury. Hopefully he's over it now. And as I said, it's good to see him back on the park. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks you'll see him at his peak when he gets a bit of fitness back.
Thanks very much. Spider, back to you, Paul.
Yeah, certainly if Tony Popovic was at peak fitness. And that's a great ball in, and it should have been a second. Foster this time lurking behind the last Tahitian defence. He'll be disappointed with that, Foster, because he is a player who prides himself on his ability in front of goal. It was a great run to get there from the midfielder. But the header just glanced off the forehead rather than hitting it firmly. Good to see Craig Moore getting forward. He got his head up there to pick out Foster, as you could see. The midfielder's run was unchecked, but the attempt on goal was well wide. Just getting back to Tony Popovic. Surely if he is fully fit, he will be pushing for one of those two spots in the centre of the defence. Craig Moore, Alex Tobin are his main rivals, and possibly Tony Vidmar as well, who Terry Venables sees as a central defender, though we're more used to seeing him as a wide midfielder. Corner to the Socceroos, curled in on the left foot. The goalkeeper unchallenged, surprisingly so. Bingley can't get there. Now interesting, Tahiti offside. Just for a moment there they had a 2-on-2 situation, but it was Aura who had strayed past the last defender, fortunately for Australia. Zelic now waiting for a run from hooker. Corner to Australia. Ball Trimboli, give us a wave, and Alex Tobin as well. Alex Tobin, the official captain of the side, though really Vidmar with the armband tonight. Foster, good ball in. The player coming charging through the pack was Craig Moore. And he's never scored for his country. And this is fourth international. And here he comes again looking for another chance, but it's over his head and it's over everyone's head. Zelic to the ball first and takes the throw. Horvat. Well, it is the time of the year for speculation about transfers, and Ned Zelic was telling me the other day that he has several options when he does go back to Europe. His club side, Auxerre, haven't made any of the European competitions. It's just domestic football for him if he stays with Auxerre. Just get the feeling that he might go back to a German club where he enjoyed his best spell of his European career when he was with Borussia Dortmund. Vidmar, Zelic, Bingley making that run forward, giving the space for Craig Moore. Moore prepared to sling a crossover. Tahiti dealing with the ball in fairly simply. They always seem to get a body in the way, Tahiti, when the crosses come over, but they're a little unconvincing with their clearances. Australia coming forward again. Bingley sidestepping, still Bingley. Vidmar thought about taking the shot, but was just towed away from him. Moore will pick up another loose ball. Foster, well kept in. Good play from Craig Foster. Back on his feet quickly to get the ball passed from Murray. Almost 26 minutes gone here in the first half. Still Australia ahead by that solitary goal. Again, Tahiti proving to be awkward to break down. Hooker inside to Vidmar. Mori, good layoff to Popovic. Horvath. Zelic waiting for some movement. Comes from Aloisi. And Aloisi scored 5 in the first game. He's got a marvellous strike rate now because of that in international football. It's played 4, counting tonight's game, scored 5. One of the youngest players in the Australian side at 22. Bingley won't get there. Australia just giving the ball away when they don't need to at times. And it's a free kick to Tahiti. Alassane, the Tahitian captain, 6 years old. The criticism of Tahitian football in the past, and particularly of the administrators in the country, is that they were more intent on establishing a good, strong relationship with France than in doing anything in terms of competitive football, like qualifying for the World Cup. That was never really a priority for them in the past. Murray. Moore got past one. Now free cross from him. Good ball in. Bingley was there. Couldn't get head on the ball at the near post. Zelic just trying to help it on now. Tahiti hacking the ball away. Well, this generation of Socceroos is trying to emulate the side in 1974, the only time we've ever made the World Cup finals, of course. Now 22 years ago. Australia's results in the World Cup games, they were beaten by East Germany and West Germany in that unusual pairing of the group, and they did manage to get a 0-0 draw with Chile. No goals for the Socceroos, but plenty of pride. A little bit more is expected of this side if they can get to France. Certainly more is being asked of Terry Venables as the series goes on. Expected to comfortably get through against New Zealand, though that's always a tricky tie, as we all know. Long ball for Rousseau to chase. Horvath is there. Horvath gets the better of him. Clips it down the line. Hooker helps it on. Another touch for Bosnich. Just under half an hour gone here in this first half. Australia started somewhat with a hiss and a roar, very quick, very sharp, but the pace of the game has just dropped off somewhat. Moore in hard, the ball still in play. Bingley to Foster, the two Marconi teammates. Vidmar peeling away to the left. Hooker moving inside in this place. Zelic takes over. Just a little bit of a misunderstanding there between Ned Zelic and Aurelio Vidmar. They have played together on few occasions, but usually on the big occasions. They were both brilliant back in 1993 when Australia played against Argentina at the Sydney Football Stadium. I mentioned earlier Zelic playing a part in the goal, Aurelio Vidmar scoring the goal. Vidmar just wary of the sliding tackle there from the number 17 for Tahiti, Amaru. In Auckland last night, New Zealand beat Fiji by 5-0. Another 2 to Winton Rufer, sending a message across to the Australians that he is not a spent force and they must be wary of him. He's now 33, Winton Rufer. Martini goes long, just the one player to aim for in Aura. Given away rather easy there by Faura. Murray waiting for support, comes from Bingley. No one in the centre though for Australia. Now they're starting to make some moves in there. Here's Zelic. Vidmar waking his way to the back post. That's a great ball. Vidmar can't get there, but very reminiscent of the goal that they made between them against Tahiti last Friday. Vidmar stealing him behind the defence on the left-hand side. Zelic picking him out with a ball straight to his head. Not quite on that occasion though. Zelic again getting in quickly. Foster just hesitating. Now he gets the ball. Such a positive player, helping it on to Damien Murray, who has this single-minded approach to scoring goals. Well, that's great play from Murray, dancing past his man. Still Murray going forward. Vidmar's in the centre, but the goalkeeper just blocked the cross somehow. Superb run there from Damien Murray. And Tahotini in goal for Tahiti didn't really know a lot about the cross. He just came out and it hit his body somewhat. And Foster will take the corner. But it's Australia's first serious moment in attack for a number of minutes. And Tahotini again. Down on the ball quickly, and he is just 19 years old. Remember, this is his second game for his country, the first time he started a game. Came off, I think it was Aurelio Vidmar at the near post. For those of you out there that are keen on statistics, this is Australia's 302nd full A international. Won 143 of those games, scoring 559 goals for. The series is like the one that we're currently involved in, sees the goal average bolstered considerably. Bingley cutting inside. Bingley again, couldn't get there. Now, what can Tahiti do on the counter-attack? Not a great deal. The pass straight to Tony Popovic. Amaru cutting out the pass. Murray turning away. For that, Murray. Looking promising for Australia for the moment. Bowen can't get there. Damien Murray. Now Bowen recovers. Credit to the Tahitian defender there. It's a corner to Australia. And Foster takes them from both sides for the Socceroos.
Excuse me.
Taken short, but Popovic wasn't expecting that. More signs that Australia really need to iron out some of the wrinkles before they take on some more difficult opponents. goes forward on his own. Now Vidmar in space. David Strilic is on the bench for Australia tonight. He's the only player who hasn't played in any part of the 3 games so far. Hoping to get a run tonight. Likelihood is that he's off to Grasshoppers of Switzerland after the series. And his striking teammate, the Sydney United Ante Milicic, has just recently signed with Breda in Holland. Good ball in. Murray got there, but never really got enough head on the ball to trouble the goalkeeper. Just what is going through the mind of Terry Venables? We've had 37 minutes of the first half gone. Australia just with 1 goal. Palmer, long ball, offside. Bosnich will take advantage of it. Play goes on. Quick roll from him to Horvat. Latest world rankings have Australia ranked at 33 in the world. Tahiti are ranked 160th by FIFA. Hooker gets the throw. The Australian supporters out in their colours tonight. Again, a similar crowd to what we've had in the opening 3 games. Around 3,000 people in at Parramatta tonight, I'd say. Bowen prepares to take the free kick. 7 minutes to go till the half-time break. Australia had some real fortune in the game against the Solomon Islands the other night with an own goal and another goal coming off the backside of Robbie Slater in amongst the first 3. They haven't had the bounce of the ball tonight so far, and an example there is Vidmar concedes the goal kick. Australia and Tahiti have met 6 times in their respective histories. In the World Cup qualifiers in '93, Australia won 3-0 and 2-0. And last year, of course, in the Oceania final, it was 5-0 and 6-0 for the Socceroos. So Tahiti have never scored against Australia. Zelic. Foster. What can they do here? Forward down the left, the ball helped on nicely by Tetuanui. Foster wins it back for Australia quickly. Hooker coming off quickly, trying to get things going down this left-hand side where Australia have been just a little bit stilted in this first 40 minutes that we have here. Still a solitary goal from Ned Zelic, separating the 2 sides. Moore. Trying into trouble down that right-hand side for Australia. Tahiti a little slow to get the ball away. Australia take over again. Horvat, good ball from him. More in some space. Back to Bingley. Murray waiting in the centre. Hooker trying to get there as well, but he only just glanced the ball on off that shaven head of his. Vidmar wins the throw. 4 minutes to go to the break. And a throw in there, going back to the goalkeeper. But in the World Youth Championships, which are taking place at the same time in Malaysia, that throw-in back to the goalkeeper would not be allowed to be picked up by the keeper. He would have to play it with his feet under new laws from FIFA, which will be coming into play next season. There are several changes to the laws of the game, which haven't truly been revamped for the last 70 years. Just touch-ups here and there, but they're going to be revamped for the first time on July the 1st. Aloisi turning away. Good bit of work from him. Surging down the left. John Aloisi. The defence is coming back to take him, but it's gone back to the goalkeeper. Clearly a back pass, and that was recognised by Tahiti. Oh, loose clearance. Chance for something here for Australia. Zelic. Still Zelic. Going on his own. Good save. And once again, Ned Zelic from outside the penalty area has looked the most likely weapon for Australia. He got past Laysan there with ease, and he knew he had time to measure his shot. He struck it sweetly, but Tahiti with an acrobatic save. Pulled in. Vidmar can't get there. Now he tracks back with his man and wins the ball. Great play, Aurelio Vidmar. Looks really hungry for something here. Mori offside. Now let's take another look at the shot from Ned Zelic. He really did have a lot of time to line it up. He was at least 30 metres out, but Tahiti continues to impress. Tahiti plays for Juventus in Tahiti. Zelic couldn't get there. Tahiti not managing to do a lot in the Australian half, but in their own half they're frustrating the Socceroos with their defensive approach, and it's a yellow card. Tahitian number 4, who was given the yellow there, Tetuanui. Less than a minute to go before the break. Australia still with that 1-goal advantage. Free kick. Can they come up with something just before half-time? Zelic will be keen to get on with the game quickly. Richard Vincent, the Tahitian coach, will be pleased with his side's first half. Oh, nice play. Good positive play from Foster. Pulled back. Corner for Australia. Tahiti will be called into action before the break again for sure. Popovic short. Foster. Popovic in space. Players just lining up in the centre, waiting for the cross. Now it comes in from Foster. Miss kick. Mori's there. Another miss kick clearance. Vidmar. Zelic almost losing out. But Australia forced back again by some good pressure from Tahiti. Bingley, Foster. Vidmar can't get there. And once again, Australia just failing in the Tahitian third of the park to find some penetration. Foster now. Is there a late goal in the half for Australia? The cross was too far for everybody. There were 3 or 4 players waiting in the centre. No one coming in at the back post. Vidmar. Here's Moore. Look at the room for Craig Moore. Vidmar making his way to the far post. Moore has so much time to provide a cross. Too much time, in fact. Flicked on. Bingley chasing, couldn't get there. Aurelio Vidmar also just loitering as well, hoping for a loose ball to just pop out to him. But it's half-time and a very tepid first half here at Parramatta. The frown on Terry Venable's face as he goes in to address his players. Ned Zelic scored after 9 minutes. A terrific strike from a player who has been leading the way for Australia in this first half. The strike of his just before the break as well from long range really tested the Tahitian keeper Jimmy Tahitini, who's looked in good form once again as Australia continue to try and break down this packed Tahitian defence. Tahiti aren't really doing an awful lot in the Australian half of the ground, but the Aussies will be looking for more in the second half. At half-time here, it's Australia 1, Tahiti 0. And we'll cross down to Mike Cockrell, who has Robbie Slater with him. In Australia did just 5 goals as they did last week. Ura and Rousseau form a 2-man attack with plenty of experience. Rousseau played against Australia back in 1993 in that World Cup campaign. The young goalkeeper Jimmy Tahitini was impressive as a substitute last week, and he'll need a sweeper tonight, Sylvain Bowen, to continue to organise the side. And the news from Australia is that they have made a substitution. Alex Tobin, the Australian captain, has come into the side, and Craig Moore, the Glasgow Rangers defender, has been forced off the park. I'm guessing that is because of injury rather than because of performance. And interestingly, the captain's armband has officially been transferred to the left bicep of Alex Tobin. Tahiti then about to kick off. Well pleased with their first half performance, I'm sure. Restricting Australia to just 1 goal. In the earlier match between the two, they were 3 down at half-time. So they're already 2 goals better off than they were. They're still struggling to do an awful lot in attack, but so were the Solomon Islands the other night, and they popped up with a couple of goals in the second half, totally unexpectedly, from an Australian perspective, that is. Australia can't afford to relax or get any bad habits or slack habits, if you like, with the 2 matches coming up against New Zealand. The first in Auckland on the 28th, the return in Sydney at the Sydney Football Stadium on the 5th of July. Throw taken by Hooker. Zelic keen to get involved. Here's Alex Tobin, his first touch of the match. Foster, former teammates at Adelaide City, those two. Foster, good positive run. Still Foster, great ball, Vidmar through. Foster just couldn't get on the end of it. Good surging run from Craig Foster. Zelic now trying to keep things going. Bingley cutting back onto the left foot. Zelic again. Still Zelic, all the way, Ned Zelic. Little ball to the back post, delightful little chip in there. And the volley over the bar. Well, Terry Venables will be pleased with the start that Australia have made in this second half. And Ned Zelic in particular taking control. Just guided it over the goalkeeper, hoping for a teammate to come running in. Foster took the final shot on goal with Zelic just off the park, trying to stay onside. The big man at the back for Tahiti, the number 6, Lou Deviant.
Nick.
Down the line. Aloisi trying to take the ball with him. Now he checks back, waiting for some support. Hooker's waiting there. Now Hooker gets involved. Early ball in. Murray tapping it down. Bingley, time to turn. Aloisi, good shot! And more shots are what's required for Australia in the second half. Despite the domination they showed in the first, Tahiti was not overworked really. And Aloisi, quick turn onto the left foot, but straight at the goalkeeper. Bosnich urging his side on. Zelic trying to lead by example in the centre of the park. Popovic continuing forward. Just whipped off his toes by Vidmar. Well, Australia had possession there, and for some reason the referee blew up for a free kick to slow things down. Bruce Grimshaw is the man in the middle tonight from New Zealand. Zelic. Bingley. Little ball. Couldn't get there. Neither of the two players, Murray or Aloisi. Popovic. Costa inside. Bingley. Aurelio Vidmar. And once again the mood breaking down before it really got going. Tahiti come away with the ball with Eta. And he's onside. The number 7, Ura. Early ball in, easily cut out by Horvath. Just for half an instant there, Eta and Aura had combined to get behind the defence. They stayed onside. Murray couldn't get there. I'm not sure whether he just miscontrolled that or whether he left it for a teammate that he hoped was behind him. When it comes to the World Cup, Australia have a pretty good record of wins against losses. This is their 73rd World Cup match. They've won 34 of those and only lost 17. Horvath helping it on. And in that particular bit of information, they've scored 154 goals, conceding just 71 in the World Cup. Good ball from Zelic. Murray prepared to chase. Hooker helping out. If he can get there, he can. They're just waiting for the ball to be returned by some of the Australian supporters who are keen to have a word to him at the same time. The ball goes back. Zelic. Vidmar coming in. Good cross again from Zelic, who picks out Aurelio Vidmar like a radar when the Australian midfielder makes those runs into the penalty area. Their understanding is first rate. And Vidmar leapt between two defenders but couldn't get any power in the header. In this tournament, Australia have scored 24 goals in their 3 matches so far. 25 counting the one they have got tonight. They've conceded just 2. It's a one-sided tournament from their point of view. But as Terry Venables says, it's got to be done. They don't have any choice in the draw, of course. Damien Murray likely to be starting for Adelaide City again in the Ericsson Cup. A welcome return to him to these shores, teaming up with Chris Trajanovski, who's on the bench tonight for Australia. Just looking at the options for Terry Venables on the bench: David Strilic, Paul Trimboli there as well, Chris Trajanovski, Josip Skoko, Robbie Ennis, and Joko Kalatz is the reserve goalkeeper. Terry Venables has used his substitutes in all of the games so far. Usually midway through the second half, sent on to just freshen up the approach somewhat. Aura. Vidmar landed on his man and he stayed down. And the ball gets put out by the Tahitian number 11, Eddie Eta. The Tahitian captain that's down. He's playing on Lysant. There was no signal from the referee that he was stopping play. And Australia had taken the throw and had carried on. Foster. Aloisi making that run down the line. Bingley leaving the space for him. Aloisi turning inside. Again, Tahiti with that line of white shirts across their penalty area, proving very difficult to break down. Shot. Bosnich leaves it. 10 minutes of the second half gone. Once again, Tahiti are proving to be a tricky customer for Australia. 5-0 in the first game when there was talk of a world record score. World record being 17-0, set just a few weeks ago when Iran beat the Maldives. There's talk of 18 or even 20 for Australia against Tahiti the first time. It didn't eventuate, of course. Be happy with just a few more here. Amori hoping to provide it. Tahutini off his line very quickly and did a good job as well. And Tahiti put the ball out because there is a man injured on the far side. It's Harold Amaru. But Tahutini looks a very good prospect indeed in goal for Tahiti. And Amaru is a little slow getting to his feet, the 27-year-old. We'll take another look why here. Vidmar came in and just caught him on his toe. He'll go off for treatment. Matt Bingley should return the ball to Tahiti. Bowen, sweeper, leaves it for the goalkeeper. Well, just over a month ago, a new regime took over Tahitian football with the complete changing of the guard in terms of the administration and the coach. Richard Van Sam was only appointed a month ago. Tahiti haven't had a lot of time to prepare their side, of course. Their last international games before the series were against Australia last November. Touched on. Bingley going through. Just a little bit too many touches there for Australia. Foster, Bingley, Zelic, Bingley. A moment lost somewhat for Australia there, when the shot could have been taken half a dozen passes earlier. Bowley's enjoying the fact that he's not on the park, perhaps. Kellett's next to him. Murray took too long. Hassan just whipped it off his toes. Rousseau. Tahiti keeping the ball just a little bit longer tonight than they did the other night. When they do get possession, they're not doing anything to really threaten the Australian goal when they have got the ball. But they are managing to play it square, keep possession, move it around just a little bit. Zelic moves around himself and just touches it on. Aloisi can't get there. Vidmar did well. Australia almost pinched possession there. Maru down the line. Rousseau can't get there. He's been starved of supply tonight. The Tahitian number 10, Jean-Louis Rousseau. Vidmar helping it on. Some gaps starting to open up in Tahiti's defence. Touched inside by Murray. Hooker won't get there. Aloisi was hoping the defence would miss it. And Zelic takes over. Goes past one. Still Zelic. Hooker wins it back. Vidmar helping it on to Foster. Bingley continuing with his run. Good ball across. Bowen was there. He's been solid as a rock in the heart of the Tahitian defence. "15 minutes gone in the second half. Australia 1, Tahiti 0. Zelic the scorer. Another one lining up here, but he changed his mind somewhat. Vidmar takes the shot. Good effort. And that's more positive from Australia. Shots on goal create goals, and Australia have really been lacking in that department tonight. But Vidmar is tired of pussyfooting around, and he just unleashed it first time. And Tahitini went down well to his left. It all came from the miss kick from Zelic. There was no miss kick from Aurelio Vidmar. Good shot. Vidmar again, still hungry to add to his international goals tally. Good ball from him, but Murray was beaten there by Bowen. Eta is the man to go down this time. Hooker. And the ball over the top. Murray will get there. Bursting past his man. Good tackle, that. More signs that Australia perhaps are just starting to warm to the task a little bit. Very difficult for the players, knowing that the match is meaningless. Foster takes the corner. He'll get the clearance as well. Deep ball this time from Foster. Vidmar's there. Vidmar He's not a big player, but he seems to get on the end of a lot of crosses. Left in some space there. Good jump from him, but he couldn't get over the ball. Pressure coming from both Maury and Aloisi. Maury got there first, but he just couldn't take the ball with him. Zelic, superb bit of play from Ned Zelic there. Foster, Zelic limping. That's a concern for Terry Venables. Bingley now. Still Bingley. Oh, right. Good ball inside, first time. Flag stays down. Bosnich will have to be quick here. He was. Chance for Tahiti. So unlucky there. The try from Russo. It's amazing where a chance can come from. And Tahiti almost had an equaliser there. And that really would have set the cat amongst the pigeons. But Lysan's ball was a good one. Aura was onside. Bosnich got there first and stopped the first one, but he laid it straight into the path of Russo, who tried to chip the goalkeeper. And a let-off for the Socceroos, without a doubt. Well, that chance for Tahiti just reminded us of the fact that a goal for Tahiti here would be an equalising goal. And Australia would be under threat of not winning the game. And that was a little chip. It was just curling away. Missed by about a metre in the end. Hooker for some runs, and many of them forward from midfielders, but the hoisted ball was to Aloisi, who didn't win it in the air. Zelic touching it on. Back to Zelic. Seems to be enjoying himself out there in midfield. Vidmar predictably trying to let it run. And that's a fine ball as well from Tahiti as they surge forward again. Just a little bit more bounce in their stride now after that last chance. Russo. Zelic. Maury peeling away to the left and getting away from his marker. Bingley joining into the attack on the far post, but Maury just couldn't get away from the two Tahitian defenders in attendance there. One of them, the big number 6, Ludivian. Horvat. Oh, that's a disappointing ball. Foster couldn't get there. Those young supporters don't seem to mind too much. They're enjoying the night and the occasion despite the scoreline. Some of the critics, though, may be sharpening their knives just a little bit. Zelic. That will be a throw-in or a corner? A throw-in. I haven't seen too much from Australia in terms of set pieces from throw-ins. Okay. Off this defender, straight to the arms of the goalkeeper. Ludivion it was at the near post who got to the ball. And Bosnich, let's take another look at just what wrong here for Australia. Bosnich won the ball, which he had to do, but he laid it straight to the path of Rousseau. And look at him hold his head in his hands, the Tahitian number 10. Bosnich back on his game now. Australia were very disappointed to lose 2 goals the other night to the Solomon Islands. There were 2 bad goals as well, if you like. Mix-ups and misunderstandings in defence. Just hacked anywhere by the Tahitian sweeper Bowen, and the coach Richard Van Saun up on his feet straight away to chastise his player. He's expecting more from them. They're in this golden opportunity really to create history against Australia. They've never scored against Australia, therefore they have never had a result against Australia. Rousseau trying to change that. That's a clever ball inside. Massin. Bowen. Given away. Horvath. Now, can Zelic get things moving quickly for Australia while Tahiti have got some men forward? Hooker. Foster will get there, but will he keep it in? He does. That's great play from Foster. Still Foster. Still Foster. Brilliant run from him. Goes on his own. Great try from the Marconi man. Well, he's always such a positive player. He makes things happen for himself just through his sheer enthusiasm. He went past a couple of players here in real style. He got his head up, decided the best option was to go on his own, and it was straight at the goalkeeper. Murray down the line. And Mike Cockrell is down on the touchline now with Craig Moore.
Craig Moore off the field at half-time. Anything that we should be worried about?
No, I don't think so. I've just stiffened up in the groin area and basically just coming off to... I'm not going to take any risks and make sure that I'm fit for the New Zealand games.
A long, hard season in Scotland with Rangers. Obviously, these World Cup games are an extra platform for you.
Well, that's right, but I think as a player playing for their country, it's a dream to come back and be involved in these games. You know, and this is the first stage of a very important time for the Australian soccer, I think.
Thanks very much, Craig Moore. Back to you, Paul.
Well, it's good news that Craig Moore has an injury that's not particularly severe. Wisely just coming off as Bingley slings in a cross. Aloisi's there. Vidmar. Bingley trying to run in behind Zelic. Loose ball, fallen nicely. Well, just for a moment there, it fell nicely for John Aloisi. Popovic. At 27 minutes gone of this second half. Still just 1-0 for Australia. Corner ball. Tahiti about to make a change. And Aouda will be coming off. And the player coming on will be Mako Nena, who makes his first ever appearance for Tahiti. Just 21 years of age. Ball comes in. Won by Aloisi. Tahutini there. Good fist away by him. Australia just can't seem to get the ball past Jimmy Tahutini. Murray let it run. Tahiti came off his line, but Bowen wasn't prepared to just take the chance. He didn't know what was behind him. Zelic again. Vidmar. Good ball. Foster. Murray. Bingley won't get to that one. Let's take another look at this earlier moment. Foster's ball went right to the back post. It was Aloisi who won it in the air. And Tahiti, good punch from him, almost like a volleyball player, the way he swatted that one away. John Aloisi in search of goal number 6 for his country. Zelic. Foster, so positive still. Bingley. Vidmar, oh, well tackled, but not legal, according to Mr. Grimshaw. Foul there by number 17, Hamaru. Well, Australia will be looking to add a little bit more respectability to the scoreline than it is currently. Just one goal in almost 75 minutes worth of football. It's a good ball to Mako Nena, the substitute, but he couldn't continue on with the move. And Mike Cockrell is once again down on the sidelines.
Yes, Paul, just some news from the sideline. Chris Trajanovski and Paul Trimboli about to come on for the Socceroos. I'm not sure who they will be replacing, but the expectation probably the front runners, Maury and Aloisi.
Once again, Terry Venables trying to add a bit of life to the lineup. Chris Trajanovski, I'm sure, will be just itching to get on the park against Tahiti because he's got this amazing record of 7 goals scored for his country, and all of them have been against Tahiti. And that's in just 8 internationals. Bingley curling the ball in. Tahiti again prepared to come off his goal line. Nena. He's a big player, but he's got a little bit of skill about him as well. Still Nena. Russo. Looking for Nena. Russo can't get there. Zelic does. That's a loose ball and a foul against Robbie Hooker. Well, a disappointing result there for Robbie Hooker. A yellow card. Well, he clearly tripped his man because his man got to the ball before him. Less than 14 minutes on the clock. The game's still in the balance somewhat, and the shot, well, you can't help but admire the cheek. The number 6 there, Jean Ludivian, trying his luck. Imagine Mark Bosnich being chipped from 50 metres against Tahiti. That would really be a sight to behold, as was the penalty he scored against the Solomon Islands. He does tend to play the game a long way off his goal line, Mark Bosnich, but that was truly ambitious. Bingley helping it on. Foster won't get there. And now a chance for Australia to make some substitutions. And it'll be the number 2, Matt Bingley, who comes off, as well as the number 11, Damien Murray. Taking their place, Paul Trimboli and Chris Trajanovski. Trimboli ideally suited to coming on as a substitute, just because of the fact that his touch is so good. He can adapt to a game fairly quickly. Doesn't take him long to settle into a match. You need something more creative from an Australian perspective in attack. Paul Trimboli is the man who's been asked to provide that. Here's Trajanowski, Foster, cutting inside. Better work from Australia. Trimboli, little ball across. Tahiti got there. And there's been many people who have criticised Australia's crossing and performance on the end of crosses going into the penalty area in this series, and we're seeing more incidents tonight of the goalkeeper really easily handling crosses. Aloisi got the free kick. And Aloisi plays for Cremonese, the Serie B. Trimboli back to goal, bringing Zelic into the game. Zelic beats one easily. Good shot! Once again, here's looked the man most likely for Australia, with some long-range shooting, but just look at the way he worked the move for himself. He totally fooled his opponent there. He didn't know where the ball was. The number 4, Tetuanui, and about a metre over the bar from Ned Zelic. Tetuanui totally lost. Aloisi. Well, is the whistle gone? The referee looked to his linesman there as if to say, I'm not really sure what happened, so I'm not clear on what he's given. It's an Australian throw. Zelic. He's moving very freely now after limping earlier on in the game, and I'm sure every Australian supporter had their heart in their mouth just a bit when they saw Ned Zelic limping. Popovic. He's had such a frustrating run of injuries over the last 3 seasons, Ned Zelic. Nine minutes to go here at the Parramatta Stadium. Amazingly, the scoreline reads Australia 1, Tahiti 0. Tahiti looking to change, still with some hope, of course, of providing a mammoth upset here. Well, they've already done that with the scoreline as it is now, but if they were to score a goal, it really would rank as one of the great results for them in their football history. Foster trying to seal the game for Australia. Vidmar wide on the left. Plenty of yellow shirts in the centre. One of them's Aloisi, couldn't get there. Foster again, offside. Trimboli. A little grimace from Eltel. I think he'll be glad when the tougher opposition arrives. It's just harder sometimes for the players to cope with this sort of game. They won't be comfortable with the fact that the expectation is so high for us to really score a bucket load of goals against these teams. Following the World Youth Cup in Malaysia, the news from Australian performance last night, they drew 0-0 with Canada, a game which they were too expected to win comfortably, but it wasn't to be. Michael Kasija, Hayden Fox and Danny Milosevic with the outstanding performances, according to the coach Les Scheinfeld. Terry Venables' assistant coach, Raul Blanco, has hot-footed it over to Malaysia in the last couple of days to just try and add some experience to the situation over there. Trimboli nods on, only to Bowen. Slater taking time out, as he may as well. He's not involved on the bench tonight for Australia. And the young supporters taking advantage of the fact that he's available. Despite the scoreline, plenty of people are enjoying the game. Long shot. Well, there's no lacking in ambition. That was Ludivion again, the player who took the last shot from all of 50 metres. He must have scored some beauties back in Tahiti if he's prepared to try that here. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Australia 1, Tahiti 0. Zelic. Hooker. Zelic again. Hooker trying to get forward. Loose ball, cleared away. Whipped in at the near post. It was Trimboli diving forward at that one to try and just glance it past the goalkeeper. Popovic puts it to the back post. Vidmar helps it on. Trajanovski will get there. Hooker, well played. Trajanovski, early ball across, right across. Still Australia in attack. Trimboli. Well, it won't go in for Terry Venables or Australia. And the crowd of just under 3,000, which have come out tonight to support the Socceroos, really deserve another goal. That was the dangerous ball in from Trajanovski. Trimboli and Aloisi a little slow to react. Foster pinged it back across, and the good header from Trimboli trying to lob the goalie. Meanwhile, Tahiti make a change. And the player coming on is the number 16, Steve Fadapua. It's the number 3, Rex Faura, who goes off. Well, surely Tahiti now have got a chance their arm totally and commit players forward. They may as well lose 2 or 3-0 as 1-0. Even a scoreline of 3-0, which is highly unlikely given that there's only 4 minutes remaining, would be a great, great result for them. Zelic. Trimboli involved quickly, coming short and showing himself a lot. Tobin. Costa still looks lively. Hooker coming inside now, leaving the space for Popovic to move into. Trimboli. Fouled. And a yellow card as well for Lesan, the captain. Now, is there something here, surely, for Australia from the set piece? They've got 6 men in the penalty area. Everyone's back for Tahiti. They don't want to concede another. Foster is over the ball. Zelic takes the shot. Well, Ned Zelic has hit some great shots tonight from long range, but that wasn't one of them. Time ticking away, less than 2 minutes on the clock. Vidmar. Surely Australia can come up with just one more before the final whistle is blown. Good run down the left. Vidmar whipping it across, pulling it back. Chance here for Australia. Aloisi turning. Trimboli, Aloisi. Pulled across. Trimboli. Surely something for Trajanovski. Over the bar. Well, of all players that you'd want the chance to fall to, it would be Chris Trajanovski, given his strike rate against this opposition. But even he couldn't find it into the back of the net. Aurelio Vidmar now. Trimboli, goal! Finally for Australia. And Paul Trimboli has come on as a substitute, and he's done what has been required. A hint of respectability moves into the scoreline now. Vidmar with the cross. Trimboli in front of his defender, an accurate header. And Aurelio Vidmar, the captain for the first half, has provided a goal for Trimboli with just 2 minutes remaining. Well, that will please the crowd, without a doubt, who have sat through a performance by Australia that has been dedicated and hard-working, but unable to penetrate Tahiti. I'm sure the players will be harder too once the opposition gets a little bit tougher. Totally dominated Tahiti. 90% of the game would have been played in Tahiti's half. They're playing against a side who doesn't really have any attacking intentions whatsoever. Foster, beautiful touch. Great play from him. Trajanovski helping him along. The man slips down. Still Foster going forward. Trimboli. Foster again. Still Foster. This time he lost out. And he was looking to take on the whole defence just for a moment. Now, chance here, Aloisi pulling it back, still Aloisi. No one in the centre. The ball bypasses Trimboli on the way out of the penalty area. Zelic just steps over Lysan. Still Zelic gliding through, past a couple. Vidmar, two players outside him. Hooker to the back post. Trajanovski couldn't get there. Tahiti clear the ball, but only as far as Foster. Foster again. Vidmar brought down. Free kick to Australia. 2.5 minutes into time added on. This really is the last roll of the dice for the Socceroos. Blatantly brought down there by the number 17, Amaru. everyone in the penalty area virtually. Off the line, great save too by a desperate defence. Foster with the shot. Whizzing over the crossbar. He had every right to take it. Craig Foster has deserved a goal for his performance tonight. As we take another look here, Tahiti missed it. Ludivion almost put it through his own goal, but then recovered to clear it off the line. The final whistle comes, and I'm sure Australia will really breathe a sigh of relief that this series is over. It started so well for the Socceroos with the 13-0 victory over the Solomon Islands, but slowly it got harder and harder with the defensive approach of the opposition. Tonight it was Ned Zelic who started the scoring in the 9th minute, and Australia looked to be well on their way to perhaps another goal-scoring spree, but it wasn't to be. Tahiti, despite the game being played in their half, were resistant. Paul Trimboli got one just before the end of the game. And the final score here at Parramatta is Australia 2, Tahiti 0. We'll take a short break and be back with more in just a moment.
Welcome back to Parramatta Stadium. The final score in the World Cup game here between the Socceroos and Tahiti, 2-0 to Australia. A late goal to Paul Trimboli, adding some respectability to the scoreline. With me, Graham Arnold after the match. And Graham, difficult circumstances for the national team. We've already qualified for the next stage. Hard for the players to keep their minds on the job.
Yeah, I think we didn't do so well tonight, but you know there was a lot of changes. It's been quite a heavy program, playing 4 games in 10 days. But once again, we've won, and the positive thing is that we can look at the mistakes we've made and correct them before the New Zealand games, where I think we can't afford to make those mistakes again.
A lot of speculation within the media about the first choice 11 for the Socceroos. Do the players have any better idea than the rest of us?
I don't think so. Terry doesn't give much away, but I think everyone can be assured the 11 that go on the field will do their best for Australia.
And a word on New Zealand. You've said for a long, long time they're always hard to beat. You've had a long experience playing against the Kiwis. This time will be no different?
No, I'm sure they're going to be hard to beat. I've seen they've had 2 very good results the last 2 matches with a 7 and a 5-0 win. And I just think Winton Rufer will make such a difference to them more off the field than on the field, because the guy has a load of European experience. And, you know, if we just played against the local boys, they might have been a bit of in awe of a few of the players on our side, where I'm sure Rufer will settle them down and have them motivated.
Thanks very much, Graham Arnold.
Thanks, Mike.
There's a story from Graham Arnold. The score here, as I said, 2-0 to Australia over Tahiti. That game next week to look forward to. We'll go up to the commentary position and Robert Wheatley.
Thanks very much, Michael. And Socceroos striker Graham Arnold there. And Bertie, I think the summary from him was that there's mistakes to be corrected. He's pretty tough on himself, but where could Australia improve after tonight?
Well, I think the point there was that they've played 4 games in 10 days. That's a pretty tough physical requirement, but at the same time, Terry Venables has passed it around to most of the players. I think in the end it came down to personal motivation. A lot of the players probably tonight would be disappointed with their overall performance, even though they gave quite a physical amount. Still, their effectiveness wasn't really as we've seen in the previous games.
All right, Bertie, who stood out for you tonight in the Australians' performance?
I think Ned Zelic again in that pivotal role in the middle of the midfield, and basically even Paul Trimboli, when he came on, still looked sharp and ended up on the scorers' list.
Scorers list, he certainly did. Well, let's have a look at the next step ahead for the Socceroos, and there are the 2 matches we've been referring to constantly. Australia up against the All Whites of New Zealand, Saturday the 28th of June, that first leg over in Auckland, New Zealand, and then 1 week later we'll be there at 7 o'clock at the Sydney Football Stadium for that second leg. They are really classic matches, and Bertie, looking ahead to that, really that should be fabulous. And also that goal from Paul Trimboli was pretty good.
Yep, it certainly is. I mean, as we've seen, Paul Trimboli came on, Johnny on the spot, a little good play here on that left-hand flank. Aurelio Vidmar, a very tight, accurate cross here, sees Paul Trimboli in front of the player. Trimmers gets up, nods it down very well to that near post. A good header, very good goal.
Yeah, it was a good goal, and that was the one that gave Australia the second goal in the second half, and a victory for Australia. 2-0 over the Tahitians. Do hope you've enjoyed the game. Until next time we see you, good night.